Welcome to the Outsourcing Pharma podcast, bringing you all the latest news, issues and opinions impacting the pharmaceutical contracting sector. I'm Gareth MacDonald. This week we're focusing on contract research, and more specifically on the trials industry in the Middle East and North Africa, which, like the CRO sector in many emerging markets, looks poised for growth. Joining me today is Dr. Rabinder Buttar, CEO of ClinTec International, to give us an insight into the region's trials industry. Dr. Buttar, to give us some context, how big on a global scale is the trials sector in Middle East and North Africa at the moment?
And there's over 1,700 trials going on in the region at the moment. At the moment, it only really accounts for just over 5% of the whole global trials, but it seems to be growing.
Okay, so you mentioned that it seems to be growing there. Obviously, with ClinTec's investment in Cairo last October, this is a market you're aiming at. What do you think are the region's most attractive features for trial sponsors?
Well, a lot of investment going into the healthcare infrastructure. New hospitals are being built of very high standards. Physicians themselves are very well educated. They just need to adopt more to some of clinical research. The FDA is having a great interest in Saudi Arabia, establishing its office there. So there's a lot of interest in the region to do clinical trials. I think the region's really getting set up for it.
Okay, what about in terms of patient recruitment and that sort of thing? Is that easier to do in the region?
It's definitely easier to do. There is a huge role in oncology and cardiovascular diseases and diabetes. These areas you can get very good patient recruitment in the region, and with everybody trying to find patients very quickly and especially treatment-naive patients, Middle East is somewhere that can really be explored.
Okay, so those are some of the benefits. Are there any particular challenges that sponsors and CROs face as a result of working in the region?
Well, there's always challenges in the emerging markets. 7 years ago, ClinTec went to India, and there were also challenges at that time with regulations not being in place, long time to get approvals, the hospitals not being very familiar with CHGCP guidelines, lack of skilled personnel, but everything evolved in India, and as you know, it's a big destination for clinical trials. I see the same thing happening in the Middle East. And over the years, more and more trials are getting done in Middle East as the environment's getting better.
Mm-hmm. And how about within that region, North Africa particularly? Is that something that you see growing the trials market in that area?
Well, as the whole region growing, there are pockets, and certainly Egypt has got a very solid, very robust pharmaceutical background. The costs of pharmaceuticals, there are huge populations there. So I was actually very impressed when we launched our Cairo operations there. All the medical directors from all the big pharmaceutical companies turned up, and I found them very impressive and very knowledgeable about clinical research in the region, and certainly they had a lot of enthusiasm and want to do more trials in the region.
Okay, so my final question then is ClinTec's plans. Obviously, you're predicting that the trials market in Middle East and North Africa will grow. What sort of growth plans does ClinTec have there?
Well, ClinTec, as you know, we've just released the news that we grew globally over 45% in actually our sales revenue. Middle East is very important for us, but it's the whole emerging markets region. India is very important for us as well, Latin America, etc. But I see that there are not many other CROs around. I think we are the international CRO there that covers the whole region. So for us, we expect a lot of growth because the whole pharmaceutical industry seems to be interested in working with us.
Dr. Buttar, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. For more pharmaceutical contracting news, please visit outsourcingpharma.com.